Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's day is off to a great start. Welcome to Pre-Market Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick with you this morning. Before we get started, go ahead and drop us a like. Smash that like button. Thank you very much. We got a good show for you today. We're going to talk earnings. We're going to talk influencers. We're going to talk earnings influencers, maybe. I don't know. Two guests on the docket today. First up, Marc Chaikin, from the founder of Chaikin Analytics, will join the show at 8:15. At 9, we'll be joined by Peter Tuckman, a.k.a. the Einstein of Wall Street. In between, we'll take some questions from the chat. We'll do some ticker time, and we'll see where that gets us. So, again, hope everyone's day is off to a great start. Joel, how is your day going so far?
What did I just miss?
What did you just miss?
I know the SP's just ripped.
Yeah,
we just ripped like 10 points.
Well, what did I miss?
I don't know. I don't know what the move was either. I'm trying to scramble around here. So help us out here, chat. What just happened? Somebody said something.
Yeah, the New York Times just reported that Biden's going to propose a $6 trillion budget to boost the middle class and infrastructure. Big budget, big spending.
Wow. Where was the money going directly into the S&P index
Pretty much.
futures?
That's what happens, Joel.
Yeah, it goes from the budget to the S&P.
That's what happens, Joel. You've got this figured out.
Because I literally
It goes immediately in there. I know, we just ripped. We were down 8-9 handles. We just ripped, and we were trading up. We've just come off the highs just slightly, but we just ripped 15 handles. We're about 5-6 points from where we were about 5 minutes ago. But I watched the same thing. I was like, well, what just happened?
Wow. And I mean, how often
Free money.
How often do you pull up the 1 minute chart to start the show, folks? That's a special treat for you. But we'll survey the information here. We are now down a half a point. Let's just call it flat. 41.93. You got crude in the red by 44 cents at 65.76. Gold struggling with 1900, down 670, 1897.10. Silver down 15 cents at 27.72.5. Bitcoin back over 40, up $1,400 at 40,050. And Ethereum, that's having a good day too. That's up $101.50 at 28.65 So, Dennis, where do we start here?
Right
we
now.
were going to do earnings.
I'm trying to get my P&L in check here
so
because
while
I was preparing for a down open, and now we're getting an up open.
While you do that, let me read a little bit. I don't remember the last time the New York Times moved a market like this, but here we are. So I'll just read directly from the article that was out at 7:56 a.m. this morning. President Biden will propose a $6 trillion budget on Friday that will take the United States to its highest sustained levels of federal spending since World War II, while running deficits above $1.3 trillion throughout the next decade. Documents obtained by the Times show that Biden's first budget request as president calls for a federal government to spend $6 trillion in the 2022 fiscal year and for total spending to rise to $8.2 trillion by 2031. The growth is driven by Mr. Biden's two-part agenda to upgrade infrastructure and substantially expand the social safety net contained in his American Jobs Plan and American Families Plan, along with other plan increases on discretionary spending. So money everywhere.
When the hole's this deep, why not dig it deeper, Joel?
Yeah.
Why not? What's it matter? You're never getting out of this hole. Just keep digging. Who cares at this point in time? That's kind of what, is the thought process here. We just keep digging the hole deeper.
Just keep digging. Just
dig. Maybe we'll dig our way out of it. If you dig all the way, you dig your way to China. Isn't that what they say over here? Keep digging.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
Yeah, man. This is good for deer and caterpillar, right? I mean, we're just digging. Look at that. I mean, it was a shocker. I was looking inside day yesterday, so I was kind of, willing to say, hey, we're going to break down through that double bottom, or are we going to clear 4,200 for good and get up to that high? And had the overnight weakness. Now we're back unchanged, heading to the end of the month, also end of the week, 3-day weekend. I just wonder what the Republicans are saying about this. I mean, they weren't too thrilled with that other bill, and they were trying to trim it down. And
that sound you hear right now is every Republican congressman flocking to their desk to type up reasons why they're not going to.
Yeah, I agree. But hey, can't fight the Fed, pumping Powell, and now he's exerting some influence there over Biden. So
forget pumping Powell. It's all about we got to come up with a name for Joe that involves
Joe.
Joel.
I don't know.
Joel will come up with one.
Oh yeah,
we'll come up with one.
Yeah, Joel will come up with one here. He's good at figuring this stuff out.
Yeah,
we need a new nickname for Pumpin' Joe Biden.
Joe doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
Yeah, we need something. We need alliteration here, Joel. Help us out.
Oh God, let me put on my thinking cap here.
Yeah, you're in the pressure's on here. Chat will come up with one. The chat's good at this too.
Yeah,
it's the stimulus. It's this market. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, I feel like we don't need stimulus at this time, but apparently I'm wrong. So
well, yeah, I don't know if it's classified as stimulus per se. again, more of just what Biden is saying is expanding the social safety net. Obviously, they're going to try and raise taxes while they're at it, because how else are we going to pay for this?
Rob from the rich and give it to the poor, Robin Hood style.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't quite go that far.
Well, it's Canadian style, so I guess they're just following the Canadian way.
How about Juicing Joe? Nah.
Yeah, that's
I like that.
That
The
came
two who
to
came
my
up with that.
I did.
Oh,
No,
I thought you were
also
from
Marie
chat. That's
Stokes in
good.
there came up
I'm
with
sorry.
it too.
I'm sorry, Marie. All right, I'm
Juice
sorry.
and Joe. We got a
Juice
new one.
and Joe, I think.
Juice and Joe.
Juice and Joe and Pump
Actually,
and Pow.
Dreamin' Joe's not bad. Dreamin' Joe's not bad either.
I like Juice and Joe.
Juice and
What was the other one?
Dreaming. I kind of like dreaming. Anyway.
No, you got to go with the J.
Dreaming.
It's Juice and Joe forever. I'm all over it. Who came up with that in the chat?
I saw Marie Stokes.
All right.
I think I saw it.
Good call.
I also came up with
kind of
that.
stuff.
Okay,
So witty.
look, Spencer. God, what a brilliant chat we have there.
We really do.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
All right, market got the rip. Now it's getting the subsequent dip. We're going right back to where we were, Joel. I'm just trying to figure this market out. It's the yo-yo market. But really, we've been buying dips and we've been selling rips, and it's been working. As a trader, you're happy with this market. You'd like this market to just continue forever, up and down the yo-yo market. I mean, SPY's really gone nowhere for 2 months. We've just been dipping and ripping, and we don't know where we're going. We're up towards the upper end of the range, though, so that's one consideration. Are we going to break out over the range, Joel? Is this consolidation to eventually break out higher? I feel like we might, but we are at the top of the range.
What about what's this going to do to transitory inflation?
I have no idea.
It's going to make it...
all I know is prices continue to go up on everything.
Yeah.
So is it transitory? Is it not transitory? I know nothing.
All right, let's do we got some earnings, and we had some after the bell. We had the big boy. Why don't we start with Nvidia?
Sure. Why not? Nvidia numbers out after the close, as Joel said. EPS beat, sales beat, got Q2 sales guidance beat as well. That's pretty much it. They said they expect to remain supply constrained into the supply constrained into the second half of the year, primarily in their gaming unit. And all that shakes out to stock that's up. Well, the market's up this morning, so I don't know if Nvidia is up per se. But
I tell you, this has been one hell of a rally. Will it end today? Who knows? Doesn't look like it. Up to 30. What your daily's telling you? Right here. Let's see. 632.74. 3 high 630 area. That's what I would keep an eye on. Tight range yesterday. They popped it. They dropped it. I mean, big run. Big run. Will it continue? Triple D.
This is the toughest market, man. Like, and I've been saying it for the last week. I'm doing well, just trading the inefficiencies, as you know, I've been buying dips and selling rips, but it's been a tricky market for trying to call where the market's going overall and where individual stocks are going overall. Nvidia has had a big move.
Yeah.
We have the 4-for-1 stocks, but it wanted to dip on the earnings. It wanted to rip on the earnings. It didn't know what it wants to do. Call it the wishy-washy market, and this stock is a wishy-washy report. They can't decide whether they want to buy it or sell it. We know we got major resistance up at 650. Basically, I'm rounding 648, the all-time high. And then we've had a pretty good move. I mean, we've come up 100 points since the 4-for-1 stock split. So you've got the profit takers in there saying this is the rip to sell, but you got the bull camp saying, well, we still got a 4-for-1 stock split. We're going to new all-time highs. I don't know who wins this one. This is a curveball. I'm not swinging at it.
If I was a big institution and I had some, running some, and I had a big old Nvidia position, I'd be looking to trim between, like you mentioned, that area 630 to 650. If I'm not trimming, I'm not adding to it here. I'm not buying it here. So it's resistance. It's a big stock. It's a big range. They're probably trying to scale out a little bit, but that's it. What was that pre-market spike? They'll just go with old bag of tricks. You got the 635. You don't get to 635. Take out 635. Then I think you roll over a little bit. So that's what I'm sticking with it.
All right, it's already 8:15 or 8:14. Close
Oh
enough.
my gosh.
I know time flies when you're having fun. Let's bring on our first guest of the day, Marc Chaikin. Let's get Mark's thoughts on
Juice and Joe.
on Juice and Joe. Mark, what do you think about that headline that just dropped at 8 o'clock?
I am in the dark on that. What is Juice and Joe?
Big budget proposal. We're going to keep on spending. That's all you need to know. More spending.
We got Pump and Powell. Now we got Juice and Joe Biden here, Mark. It's all just we've got free money coming at everyone here. Although somebody's eventually going to have to pay for it, but it's not going to be us.
I wouldn't say it's entirely free because they do intend to raise taxes.
They do intend to raise taxes. So we're taking from the rich, give it to the poor. What are your thoughts?
Free.
I think the market has factored a lot of that in, and I believe that we're going to keep going higher. I don't see any reason other than the Fed that we'd not go higher. Randall Quarles today reiterated that they have to look at tapering if the economic numbers come in strong. We got a lot of numbers at 8:30.
We do.
Not just the jobless claims or the unemployment claims.
But, right. We got durable goods. GDP adjustment. So that's right. Mark, I want to bring up a comment that you made. I'm going to share my screen in a second. I want to replay because I put it on my calendar. You're on this show.
This is our day.
You're on this show in mid-April, and this is what you said. Oh wait, let me do one thing real fast. I want to make sure that you'll be able to hear it. Okay, let's try that. Now you should be able to hear it. Here's what you said.
So I do think once we get above this 4150, 4200 level, that everything else is gravy, and people should start thinking about taking money off the table toward the end of the month.
End of the month, you're referring to May. You're referring to the month we're in now.
No, at end of April, and then looking for a decline in May. And the only place we got the decline was in the ARK funds and the stocks that Cathie Wood's traffics in, and that was pretty painful. But the market's showing you its resilience here. It's showing you that you can throw everything at it, and it's just not going to break. But we did get enough of a correction in some of the tech stocks, and I continue to think that this tepid bounce in things like Beyond Meat and Shake Shack and Zoom is a good selling opportunity. But in general, the shift into infrastructure, and now look at what retail did yesterday. The consumer is still going to drive this. So bottom line is we got barely a 4.5% pullback in the S&P, and then the tech names came back on again. I know you've been discussing that a lot over the last week or so.
So when
you called the turn in tech.
When you say retail, you mean like the XRT? What do you mean?
No, I mean stocks like Dick's Sporting Goods, Hibbert's, Foot Locker, specialty retail doing really well.
Okay, because I'm always suspicious of the XRT now because I don't know how big GameStop. Actually, I don't think GameStop is that big.
Well, it reweighted,
right?
So, but if GameStop starts going up like crazy and parabolic again, then it'll get a heavier weighting because they only rebalance that quarterly, I believe. So, so it's starting to come a little more weight in it. What are your thoughts? Let's go to the GameStop and this whole Reddit social. The social media moves in these highly shorted names again. We saw GameStop take off. We saw obviously AMC take off. But yesterday we started seeing some of the laggards go. We saw Bed Bath & Beyond had a big day. They're starting to go to that old list where they were just buying all these stocks. There was like 50 of them on the short squeeze list. And we even had Jim Cramer last night on Mad Money trying to promote some other ones too. He was promoting 3 that he thought Reddit could get. Beyond Meat was his #1 pick, and Beyond Meat popped $5 when Kramer started saying this could get a Reddit short squeeze. What are your thoughts here on this whole Reddit trade coming back again?
I think it's a sideshow, and if you want to make serious money, whether you're a trader or investor, you just put that off your radar screen.
Ignore it.
I mean, how can you, unless you're using this as a substitute for going to Las Vegas and putting your money on the red or the black. And trying to walk away a millionaire. It's crazy stuff.
Does it not say something, though, that the market is disconnected from fundamentals? I mean, we've been saying that on certain stocks for a long time, but I mean, we start seeing, stocks explode. And I mean, AMC it's been diluted, as I believe trading at a new all-time market cap high. We were talking about this yesterday. GameStop, trading at what $17 billion here now. They launched, a site that looks even kind of cheesy to me, and the thing takes off and blasts off on that again. I mean, it's kind of, to me as an investor, it makes me skeptical that what am I investing in if, and maybe it goes all right back to crypto when you got Dogecoin that starts as a joke and, all of a sudden is worth however many billions of dollars that is. I mean, it seems like this investor just, at least some of these investors, just don't care about fundamentals whatsoever.
Well, I think that's why you have to view it as a sideshow and just put it off to the side, because it's a distraction to whatever your game plan is, whether it's a trading plan or an investment plan. It's a huge distraction. And sure, it's easy to extrapolate and say, this is insane. The markets don't make any sense. That happened in the late 1920s when you had these pools that were manipulating stocks. But that was big money. This is collectively big money, but from individuals. I just don't think you need to focus on it. And the more you focus on it, the less you're going to focus on the opportunities. We've had some really interesting pullbacks in reopening stocks and home builders and some of the lumber stocks. And that's what you need to focus on to make money, not this sideshow. And hey, it's just a game. And it'll go on as long as it can. And, they always say you don't ring a bell at the top. Let's see what happens around the Robinhood public offering. Because in theory, that could be a top.
Interesting. And then I guess
not a big top, but a trading top, and maybe a correction of more than 4.5%.
Yeah, and we've been talking about how these manias, whatever you want to call it, they move in waves, right? They come up and they come down. They come up, they come down. And the question you have to ask yourself now is, well, a lot of people that were all in on growth last year are getting wrecked this year, right? Gotten punished really hard. Was that the washout, the great washout of this moment, or was it merely just one minor washout, and now we're heading back towards fall 2020?
They seem to have unlimited amounts of capital. I mean,
that's what I'm wondering.
If you believe the headlines, 12 billion was liquidated out of Bitcoin leveraged accounts last week. It's not stopping Bitcoin from bouncing. I mean, there's just seems to be an unlimited appetite for speculative asset, whether it's NFTs.
That's what I'm wondering, because I don't have unlimited money to keep on buying. Where is it coming from?
I don't know. A really good question.
Well, one thing I'll tell you where it's coming from with the meme stocks and stuff is that a lot of research traders made a hell of a lot of money.
I guess.
I mean, there was a lot of money made in GameStop. It's up 2,000%. There's just some millionaires that were created from these short squeezes. So, and obviously these, investors were right. So I think they redeploy assets as well. I mean, there's some serious money that was made in Dogecoin.
Well, Dennis, think about the fact that there's a bit of potential manipulation going on with some very smart hedge funds who've hired millennials who are very savvy on social media.
Maybe.
So there's a bit of manipulation going on these boards. And yeah, the public is participating, but underneath, behind an anonymous poster, there are a couple of big hedge funds.
Is there going to be a major crackdown by the regulator here? Like, are they going to be coming in and trying to find those, not maybe the little guy, but finding if there's a hedge fund behind this, or if there's some other, people who are hiring? Is there going to be a crackdown on this? Because it
doesn't even seem like it's addressed ever.
Like it's been going on for a while, but it seems like the whole market is full of a bunch of little pump and dumps everywhere.
I don't think that's the new priority for Gary Gensler. I think his priority are blowups in the super leverage hedge fund that had 7 different prime brokers all using the same collateral to lend them money. I think they're more concerned with that, and they just today they just subpoenaed records in a criminal probe potentially. So I think they're going after the bigger fish. It's going to be really tough to troll Reddit and try and figure out who's doing what to who.
Yeah. So, all right, Mark, we talked about what areas you like. You said you've been eyeing pullbacks in infrastructure. What else are you? What else do you like here?
Well, I like the retail stocks. I do believe that there's amazing amount of buying power, and the consumer, as we've said over and over again in the last 4 months, very liquid. Consumption is not yet pumped up, and savings rates are high. So I think retail, especially specialty retail, very, very strong. And I'm bearish on tech. I think the overpriced stocks like Zoom, Peloton, Team, Zscaler, you name it, anything with a Z, I guess you want to be selling on a rally. But I got one theme that I'll drop on you, and then we can pick it up maybe another time.
Go for it.
Is it possible that Amazon has seen its day in the sun? They're overpaying for MGM. Nobody quite knows what that does for them, since you're going to buy free shipping whether they give you movies or not. They're getting into the physical pharmacy business. And guess who's leaving?
Yeah.
Bezos is leaving. And if you go back, I wish you could find the tape 2 years ago where Bezos addressed the Amazon employees and said, at some point, our business model is not going to work anymore. And everybody sort of laughed that off and swept it under the rug. I just wonder if Amazon is a place to have your money long term.
There's an argument there. I mean, it's not a cheap stock. It's never been a cheap stock. And, it's one of the best run companies in the world. But, has that valuation just become to a point where, it doesn't make sense here? I still own Amazon shares. It's tough to bet against them just because I just think of, their business. They just have so many people who, like 10% or 12% of all retail sales now go through Amazon. It's something just incredible number. I don't have the number in front of me, but it's hard to bet against them. But I see where you're coming from, Mark. I mean, it's priced for perfection.
Yeah, and I just wonder if all these forays into sideshows is really going to make a difference. And I actually, on Mad Money 3 years ago, I said to Jim Cramer, you can't bet against Amazon. You just have to find a spot to buy it. But
what about the consolidation in this, Mark? I mean, considering what the market's done, just going back.
It's 9 months of going nowhere.
Yeah,
Amazon.
I mean, what have you seen a monthly chart? What's that telling you? 3,000 to 3,500. I mean, is it going to stay there for absolute ever? I mean, that's a long consolidation period. Mark, what's your thoughts on that?
Historically, Amazon has had 3 consolidation periods like that over the last, I guess, 12 years, 15 years, and it's broken out to the upside each time. But of course, we've been in a very long-term bull market in Amazon. So typically, it'll break out and go to new highs, but you got to wonder what the impetus is going to be. Is it going to be in AWS? Is it going to be in just more and more retail transactions? And you do have the regulatory risk there. I'm thinking Google is a lot more attractive if you're comparing Amazon versus Google based on the AI trends that are going on under the hood in Google. There was an interesting story last week about how the AI division, I'm in the middle of a book on AI, and Google is front and center in that. But they wanted to buy themselves back out of Google because of concerns about privacy and abuse of data. And Google, after about 4 months of debate, said, no, thank you. This is too central to our business and too important. And so we'll keep things the way they are. But I do think that because of AI, Google is a better long-term investment than Amazon.
All right, Marc Chaikin is the founder of Chaikin Analytics. Ramon says, can you ask Mark what retailers he's looking at here?
Yeah, maybe I should get a couple because he was saying the retail. Are you looking at any laggards here that maybe haven't gone yet, Mark?
Well, there's one I like, Rocky Brands. I think Rocky is really interesting.
What's a symbol on that?
RCKY. It's thin, please. It's thin, guys.
I don't even know that one.
I don't either.
They make outdoor boots and stuff, and they bought Honeywell's work boot division. So they got almost a double in revenue.
All right.
It's a really interesting stock, really interesting company. And if you work outdoors, you own Rocky Brands, whether it's through company purchases or branded merchandise. In fact, Sandy wanted some stuff for the garden, and they came in, and it was Rocky Brands.
I thought Amazon just bought Rocky, or was that that was a different Rocky?
Maybe they bought the NFT of Sylvester Stallone going up the Philadelphia step.
Is that an NFT now?
Steps.
I don't know.
It will be. Hey, if it's not, he's a fool. Let's make 30 million.
There's a moneymaker right there.
But I think Foot Locker, Rocky Brands, these specialty retailers, Deckers, they're all doing really well.
Wow. All right, there's a new one for us. Marc Chaikin, thank you so much. He joins us every other Thursday at 8:15. We always appreciate his perspective. Thanks a lot, Marc.
See you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Mark.
All right. What was I about to say?
We're getting numbers right now.
Oh, yeah.
They were getting some economic data, and we went wide.
Thank you for the reminder.
All right, back to the 1 minute here, folks.
Twice in one day. What did I do to deserve?
What is going on here? A little dip, bought the dip, right back. I mean, this is a battleground here. 41.90. Let's just call that close from yesterday 41.93. I'm gonna make that the line in the sand here. We got kind of green off the big surprise, but dipped on this number. I don't know, man. This trading range, Dennis, top of trading range. I don't know. What's it going to take to break us out of here?
So real fast, jobless claims for the week came in a little bit lower than estimates, which is good news. 406,000 jobless claims filed last week versus 425,000 estimate. Durable goods came in lighter as well. Not great. Down 1.3% versus a 0.8% estimate. And we also had a GDP revision as well, and it didn't change. So.
Yeah, we went wide on the S&Ps and then on the SPY, and then we just didn't really move at all. So we haven't moved yet. We're still digesting. We're only a minute after this. So, Joel, you can't call this market.
No.
I mean, trying to call this market here, you can call individual stocks. And you know what's the play has been, like I was saying, there was a setup a couple days ago with some of these, old short squeeze stocks like the Bed Bath and Beyonds. I've been talking about some of the growth names that hadn't gone yet. Those were the ones that I was nibbling on. I was going after stuff because I thought we've had this rotation of growth. I think growth on pullbacks is still a buy here right now because I do think we had a short-term bottom here in growth names. We've been talking about that for 2 weeks. So you can see individual little stock trends. The overall SPY just keeps chopping around because we got rotation from value to growth going back and forth, and they're trying to figure it out. And it really means the SPY is kind of going nowhere. I mean, we've had a few dips, we've had a few rips of a couple of percent, but we've been fairly muted volatility in SPY. But I think on the growth names, I think I'm still buying pullbacks, and I want to get more exposure to growth. So I keep nibbling in on pullbacks on certain names. I keep nibbling in.
Let's go back to the meme stocks for a second, because Kramer talked about this last night, but also there's a Bank of America note out today, also expanding the list, if you will, of meme stocks, right? So we got, of course, GameStop, AMC. We know BlackBerry and Bed Bath were part of it before. Weren't moving a couple of days ago, but they moved yesterday.
Whose note is this?
Bank of America, B of A.
Okay.
And they are saying also watch out for Virgin Galactic, watch out for Plug Power, watch
all
out
these old names.
Watch out for Academy Sports, Athene Holding, I guess ATH. All right. There's a what's the
so what are they saying? They're saying just
they're saying that these are the top stocks that get mentioned on Reddit, apparently.
The Reddit stocks are hot again. Give Reddit credit. And I kind of intended that as it was coming out of my mouth. But give them credit. I mean, they have been all over this trade. They've held GameStop strong. It continues to go up. There is a lot of rich traders. Some of the small, like maybe it's hedge funds and maybe it's hidden, that are getting rich off this too. But there's a lot of smaller guys that made some money too. I mean, who's the kitty investor there? He was just a little guy before. The guy that called out GameStop.
Oh,
the cat.
Roaring Kitty?
Yeah, well, what's his name though? Roaring Kitty. What's his name?
Keith Gill.
Keith Gill.
Yeah.
I mean, he came from nowhere.
Yeah.
And he's all of a sudden worth a hell of a lot of money. So there's a few stories like that, a few, good stories, I guess, that have come out of, this meme stock run. And I think that money that has been made in some of these stocks and not apparently going away. I mean, AMC has come all the way back to make new highs too, which is absolutely incredible. Starts getting cycled back into some of these other names, and you're starting to see it. So I think there's a point there. I mean, Bed Bath & Beyond started moving yesterday. There are a few of these names that have started to go again. So and then I just go to the growth trade too. I mean, some of these other names might start to catch a bit as well. So I mean, I'm buying growth on dips. Where I was selling growth on rips 3 weeks ago, the last week and a half, I've been buying growth on dips, and it's been working. So I continue to buy growth on dips here. I think the market wants to be back in growth here right now.
Looking right now, I mean, you got the tech, the big boys are down here, but it doesn't make difference. You got a lot of stocks that are up right now. The S&Ps now, they're really liking the news. We're green here. We've gone green. Really, every dip until, I mean, just more money coming into this market. I mean, how could you get super bearish? I mean, you have to get down to levels far from here in order to really turn bearish, and it doesn't do any good. It's just the roaring 20s, right? We mentioned that a couple times. Well, we're in the 20s again, right? So let's see. Maybe we got another decade of this.
I don't think anybody knows, Joel. I don't think we're trying to answer an impossible question because there's new information coming at us all the time. There's nobody that is, nobody knows anything. It always goes back to that. All you can do is identify patterns. I mean, this is where I make consistent money, is identifying patterns in different stocks, relationships. Is Bed Bath & Beyond related to GameStop at all in any fundamental way? It is not, but it's totally related through Reddit. So you've got to understand there's a relationship there. So do I want to be short Bed Bath & Beyond? I have no position in BBY, so I can talk about it freely. But do I want to be short a stock like that? No. And the smart traders were buying it for the last couple of days. I mean, we mentioned a couple of these names here, and they've started to go. So what has been mentioned on Reddit in the past is starting to get hot again. So the Reddit trade is starting to pick up. So Bank of America note is correct. Is it going to continue? Use GameStop as your leader. I mean, have GameStop on your screen. Even if you don't like trading GME, have it on your screen. If it starts to blast to 300, Bed Bath & Beyond's probably going higher. If GameStop gives it all back and starts going down to 170, 150 again, Bed Bath & Beyond and AMC are going to follow suit. So GameStop is your leader. AMC is right up there with the leadership as well. And then there's the KOSS. We've talked about these names too. And there's a pile of other names. We know this list. We've talked about this list.
You also just said it. You said you're not short, and that's the other thing is like, who the hell is coming in here?
I don't get it.
To sell these things.
Who's short GameStop?
Who is selling? Who? Who and why?
I don't understand it. I mean, it's the fundamental investor that just thinks this is stupid and eventually it's coming back down. But this was the argument with Tesla for so long. Yeah. You can't short a hot story. You cannot short a hot story. Write that down. You cannot do it. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make any sense at all. You can't short a hot story. If you could short Dogecoin, you would have got run over. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, did it make sense to be at the price? It doesn't make sense to be at the price. It does probably not, but it doesn't matter. Maybe it came back and started with Tesla, where fundamentals, certain stocks just disconnected from the fundamental reality. But that's the facts for a lot of the crypto. I mean, 99% of the crypto is just nothingness, but we're paying real money for it. So if we're going to pay real money for nothing, at least when you're buying GameStop, at least you're getting something. You're getting a company. I mean, the company, it does benefit from the price going up because it can sell stock, get rid of debt, and get the company in better, situations. So it's hard. You can't just bet against it. Am I going long GameStop and putting my long-term portfolio? No, because it doesn't make sense to me. But at the same time, I'm not going to go short the thing. So who's short GameStop? That's a good question. Who is the 100% of the open interest that's still short GameStop that didn't, cover? I can't believe it.
And just Justin Hill asked if we ever heard back from GameStop regarding the NFT thing. No, Justin Hill, we never heard. Benzinga reached out like 3 or 4 times. We never.
GameStop doesn't respond to anyone. Even remember CNBC, they were trying to get them to come on, and they never could. We
never heard back about the NFT thing.
Kramer was trying to get the get the CEO of GameStop to come on. Couldn't get it. Yeah. So they're just sitting back and not saying much back there at all. I don't know if their lawyers are advising them just don't get into the public right now. Maybe that's the case. I'm not even sure. But, we're in this market environment here where stocks are being driven, for a lot of different reasons. And if you're shorting a stock just because it fundamentally doesn't make sense, I've lost a lot of money trying to short stocks that don't fundamentally make sense. It's not a winning strategy. I short stocks when they start to roll over and when the momentum's on my side. Like I get this all the time. I talk, something, I say something about GameStop. Is the site real? I had 100 people reaching out to me. Short then, go short, tough guy. I just asked if the site was real. I didn't ask anything else. So am I stupid? You think I'm stupid to short GameStop? I've just watched the stock go from $40 to 200. Why in the hell would I short that? You obviously don't listen to the show because I never say don't short. Why would I short a chart like that? Why would I short something that's breaking out to new highs over 200? I was in Reuters reporter, and I said the $200 is going to get the buzz started. And I said it's being social media driven, and people are like trashing me, saying, short it, big guy. Come on if you think it's a social media. Well, I don't care what the hell the driver is. The driver's social media, the stock's going up. I don't short rocket ships. So, I mean,
you know what's a little different this time, Dennis?
People are
just
so,
talk
but this
over
is such a
the overall market. When this happened before, they hit the market, right? When the original, that original ramp up to 350 and change, or we even got over 400, they hit the market. But this time, they're not. It's a totally different scenario. It's not affecting. Remember when we had that dip? We looked at the correlation. Now it's just buy everything. It really is. I don't know what the shorts. I don't know. Is it still that high in GameStop? I haven't checked.
The short interest is still high.
I'm taking a look for you.
I mean, it's delayed, right? We don't get this updated.
Yes,
it's so delayed.
It's the most recent number is 21%. Okay,
so it's come down a lot.
Yeah, but
there's still a lot of people who are short it. AMC is fairly high too.
Yeah.
So it's come down significantly.
I'm trying.
But the point I'm making, people are like all over, and the point I'm just trying to make is, I don't short rocket ships. Like people think naturally, if you don't believe in the story, you got to go short the stock. No, you don't short hot stories. I'm trying to teach stuff here. Don't short hot stories. It doesn't matter if the story doesn't make any sense. You don't short a hot story. You lose a lot of money shorting a hot story. You short the stock when the story has cooled off, when you've got a break, when you've got something to lean on. That's when you do shorts. If you're new to the markets, you shouldn't be shorting stocks at all because you have to learn, but once you're seasoned, I like to trade market neutral. I short stocks. Shorting is not evil, but I'm not shorting rocket ships. I'm not some hedge fund that's saying, oh, fundamentally, this doesn't make sense. I'm going to short it. We saw how that worked for Citron. Andrew left, he lost 100%. He said he lost, shorted at 40 and is covering up at 80 or 90. He admitted that. I mean, it's tough to short a hot story. You cannot short a hot story. That's what the point I'm trying to make here.
Okay. I think you made it well.
I'm curious, Dennis, like what is the longest time period you've ever stayed short? Is like a couple days? Like one stock?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I've put on longer term shorts.
You have? Okay.
But for the most part, most of my trading is short term. Yeah. And I'm small. I have an advantage.
Yeah.
You have an advantage as a small trader. You can get
out.
In and out. I don't have a hell of a lot of price impact. Couple thousand shares or something, few thousand shares or something, I can get it out. I don't have to cover 1 million shares, 100,000 shares. I mean, that's the advantage. People ask me all the time, why don't you launch a hedge fund? Well, I mean, it's difficult because one is you obviously have to have highly capital intensive strategies. Now you have price impacts. It's a whole different game.
Yeah.
I'm have an advantage. You as a smaller trader have an advantage because, if you're a real small trader, you get in and out inside the spread. I mean, sometimes I got to go outside the spread a lot of times because I'm bigger than the spread, but I'm not like 2, 3, 4 days of volume. I mean, hedge funds have it tough. I mean, Cathie's got it tough. She can't just go and buy and sell something. It take her weeks to get out of some positions. We've seen it with her trade. She's buying stuff for weeks and selling stuff for weeks. So you have an advantage as a smaller trader to be able to get in and out of these positions quickly. So as a smaller trader, you can short anything, but know where your out is. But I don't short rocket ships. I don't make money on GameStop shorting rocket ships and saying, oh, it doesn't finally make sense. This isn't my style. My style is to read the tape. My style is to read momentum. My style is to short stocks when momentum breaks, not when momentum is accelerating. That's suicide. So just trying to teach you how to successfully short stocks. It's not shorting rocket ships. I'll tell you that. Tell you what not to do is shorting a stock that's going straight up, because I've been burned doing that a lot of times and I've learned the hard way.
I'm sort of torn here between wanting, on the one hand, to like get down and dirty and all this fun stuff, and on the other hand, just bury my head in the sand and buy some SPY and call it a day. You're like,
as an investor, it's the simpler way to do it. As a trader, we've got to make stock calls, right? Yeah. We've got to be in and out of stuff. Like it's difficult to call the SPY. I don't have an edge trading SPY. I use SPY as a hedge because there is no edge. I mean, there's no edge in trading SPY. You're reading a tape, you're looking at this, but it's very difficult to call the market. So that's always been the case. I mean, yeah, okay, I made a call on it back in March of, there's certain times, March of 2020,
You were,
when
yeah,
we knew
that was
COVID was
you were
coming, and I had
convicted. Yep.
SPY puts and I had market shorts. I mean, that was just, reading, from like Chris Camillo, or just reading the social media tea leaves and saying, this is coming for us. I mean, this COVID thing was obviously coming for us. We knew it back in January. So obviously we struck early. So there is times to make a market call, but those are few and far between. More often than not, I'm just looking at little inefficiencies where, okay, well, this sector is getting hot, but there's a few laggards in the sector that haven't gone yet. So I buy those stocks. And a lot of times they'll catch up. So, you're just trying to get ahead of the trade. It's like people are looking, growth versus value. We could see growth starting to perk up a week and a half ago. And that's why, and now there's other people coming in saying, oh, the growth is starting to look good. Well, no, it was looking good 2 weeks ago. So you're kind of a little bit late to the party now. Still buying growth on dips, but also being careful because, a stock like I talked about, Fastly, I bought it, I had a level to lean on at 40. So I bought it at 42. It's 47. I just made 12% on that. I'm still in Fastly. There's a number of names that, they started to work again. The U, everybody made fun of me when I bought that one because Michael Pachter. I'm up $10 on it now. It was starting to turn. Growth was starting to turn. I was starting to try to get into some growth names. Michael Pachter gave me a good one. I bought about a dozen of them. I've talked about some of those buys in the show. I bought AMD. And, and AMD's come up from the lows too. I bought it at 74. I was leaning on the lows. So it's just a trade that, I'm still holding on to because it's still holding up. So, I mean, it's about setups. That's all it is, and minimizing your risk.
AMD's been a little, it's just trying to get out of here, but it's got a big level for some reason. We'll see. Maybe it can take it out today. You've had 3 of your last 5, let's call it 78.60. For some reason, that's where it stalled after, you got the boost off the buyback, but stalling out here a little bit. Let's see if we can get through that 78.60. You want to cover a few
Everybody
earnings?
gets pissed off. They all want stock ideas. They just want to come on our show. They don't want to learn anything. They just want stock ideas.
Can I talk? Can we talk about a stock?
Go.
All right. I've never been more mad at myself on a trade where I made money than I am right now about Ford. Because if I had done literally 2 seconds of research, I would have seen that Ford had their investor day yesterday. And they talked about the electrification of their fleet and over-the-air updates and all the money they're going to make from electric cars by 2030 and blah, 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 blah. And the stock's at $14 today, and I sold it at $12 last week.
You're trying to talk me into selling it. You almost had me talked into it. You're like, this was the plan. We're going to launch the F-150 electric.
I had just looked at the investor relations page. It takes 2 seconds. I would have seen, wait a minute. There's another event next week.
When did we buy? Me and Spencer bought the same day. It was and we talked. The catalyst was we talked about it on the show back in October, I think it was, and we said the electric F-150 is coming, and this is going to be a driver, pun fully intended, for the stock. And we bought, and I think you bought it too, Joel. I think all 3 of us pretty much bought on the same day. It was like $7.80. Where did we buy? Under $8.
It was under 8, I think.
It was at 760 something.
Yeah, 7 and change. And so at this point, I'm still in it. I still think Ford is one of the best. I think Ford could go to 20. So I'm holding on. 15's the next. 15 is going to be a big number for it.
Really chewed through 14, Dennis, overnight.
15's big. Optionality, big hole, 5, 10, 15, 20. 15 is going to be huge to try to get through. So the short-term target is 15. I don't know where I'm going with this. I think the story is still intact. So I'm trying to ride it. I always sell too early. So, and I did sell a piece. So, but it's almost a double here at this point in time. And we're 14.31. It's been a good one. So I still think Ford. I still think GM as well. I think I'm along Honda Motors. I'm along a lot of the traditional market makers here, or automakers, because I think they're all going to move to EV. And I think you're going to see, what about a nice Honda Civic EV? I mean, you're going to see all this coming. So, I mean, we've got a lot of catalysts for traditional automakers, and you know what? Fundamentally, they're all cheap. So
I heard this weekend.
I like the EV trades through the traditional automakers.
I heard this weekend is the biggest car selling weekend of the year for some reason. The next period, I guess people
not for some reason. It's a holiday weekend. I mean,
yeah, people going out and getting their new rides with the money that they made from GameStop.
There are sales. People have off of work, and it's the start of summer. I mean, let's face it, we're all in a pretty good mood. I mean, maybe not Dennis, but like the rest of us are in a pretty good mood here, generally speaking, right? The weather is nice. We're going outside. We're doing things like.
Oh, it's gonna be 48 tomorrow.
I know.
Why is it getting so cold? What happened?
I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, I mean, by and large, things are pretty good overall. Like we're getting past the pandemic. We got the vaccines. Stocks are going up.
Canada.
Stocks are going up. GameStop's going up. It's all generally good. I mean, maybe we get back to, I don't know, just general bubblicious. I don't know, in the market. I don't know.
We could break out. I mean, a lot of stocks are starting to look healthy again. The growth names are all starting to look healthy again, though. We don't know. This could turn on a dime. So you got new information, makes you have to change your opinion. As a short-term trader, you got to be watching the information. People say don't watch the news. I watch the headlines. I make money trading headlines.
I do like this from Clinton Rhodes. Triple D is in a great mood. He's just spicy. That's right. Dennis is spicy.
That's actually, I am pretty spicy.
He's spicy.
I'm opinionated. I'm an opinionated Canadian. A lot of Canadians aren't. I'm a very opinionated
That's an
Canadian.
oxymoron if I've ever heard one.
I know, it really is. Most Canadians go with the flow. I don't.
Can you at least apologize for your? You never apologize. Why don't you ever apologize to us?
I apologize. Did I not apologize? I
don't know.
Yeah, only when
I'm sorry to
your mom
everyone
gets mad
for all my spiciness.
All right, let's do some ticker time here. Drop your tickers in the chat.
Hey, take your time.
About 10 minutes left before I'll bring on Peter Tuckman, the Einstein of Wall Street. Somebody asked earlier in the show about Tesla. I'm not quite sure how Tesla fits into this thing that we've been talking, this trend that we've been talking about, because they're not a meme stock.
They're a storied stock.
They're a storied stock, but it's growth, but it's also well off its highs, and in some respects, it's not as growthy as like other growth. So I'm not quite sure where Tesla fits into all this.
It found support in an area where it needed to find support and got a nice rally going, continuing up here up $2. I mean, not much in here. On the way down here, we had a high at 627.10. I'd keep an eye on that. What was the high yesterday? Oh, 626.16. So there you are. There's your area of resistance today. On the downside, I mean, yesterday's low was way down there at 601.50, but stopped twice at this 627 area. I'd keep an eye on that today if you're looking for more. Then you got to work into this big red bar. I'm not sure what that day was, but the monthlies look great down there. It gave you all kinds of time to get in it. Well, it didn't get down to the 540. I believe it got to 549, but people are ahead of it. I don't know if we're not going to have a green bar this month, but nice turn off the low.
Interesting SPAC deal today. And I'm sure they'll discuss this at
Acorn,
Attack. Yep, Acorns, which I've always thought was a really good idea, a great concept, but I don't know how good it is in practice. I've never actually met anyone that's had success investing with Acorns. But anyway, going public via SPAC, PACX is your ticker, $2.2 billion valuation. Did get a pop, already dropped this morning. Didn't even get to 11. But PACX, we haven't talked to SPACs in a while.
They haven't been popping like this.
It has been a selling opportunity. Pretty much every SPAC that does a deal, they get a pop on it, and that's almost always a selling opportunity. It's like 90% selling opportunity. There's the odd exception like Muds, that had a good story that keeps going. I mean, a lot of these are good stories. I think there is some diamonds in the rough here, but it's like these things pop, and I do the same thing. I see a SPAC popping for a deal announcement, and I'm automatically inclined to sell it, just because that's what's getting rewarded. Same thing again here on PACX. It gets up to 1070. Joel, you're looking at Baba, but
yeah, I saw the spike up to.
Well, let's see PACX again, just so we see.
Okay, PACX.
I'm just trying to say, it's so difficult. You've got algos doing it now. You got everybody. You got savvy money looking and saying, "Oh, it's a pop on a SPAC. We got to sell it." And because there's so many good ones that are still just hanging around $10. I mean, $10 is such a magnet for all of these stocks. They hang out prior to the deal, just below the 10. They have the pop up above the 10, and they get sucked back into below the 10. So it's tricky. I don't know what's going to turn that mentality around, but when I see a SPAC now, I think $10, and the algos are thinking it too.
What about Ride here? They bought the dip on this over the last couple days.
They're buying the dips on all the old Momo names. So that was kind of Not surprising to me, even though the report was terrible. This is where we are in this market right now. They're looking at former momos. Even the QS we talked about yesterday, QuantumScape, I'm like looking at that chart saying, why did that not rally? Well, look what happened yesterday. It rallied. So, I mean, it just seems like they're looking now for any Momo name, the Momo names of late 2020, early 2021. They're looking at those, and not so much like the pure SPACs, but like Ride is post-SPAC. It's now an actual company. So the ones that are still trading as SPAC seem to just be drawn to the 10. But the ones that are post-SPAC deal, they're buying those too. So on the dip. So again, Ride is pre-revenue, but it is, supposed, growth. I mean, they're eventually going to start to grow some numbers there. They're buying those stocks on dips right now. So the stocks, I think I'm buying on the dips as well.
Baba, someone asked about Baba. It's just been quiet as of late. You got two highs at 214. You're trading up right now, $1.99. I get through that 214, hold 214, go bid there, and I think you got a nice move. Almost matching range yesterday too. So if you're looking at support on this, two lows right at let's call it 211.25. But let's see if you get through 214 if you're trading Baba today.
There's a bunch here. Someone asked about RCL. They said that they're getting back into the water June 26th. They're gonna return to sailing. So cruise stocks are up this morning on that headline. I don't know if Joel has a level to look at, but
I mean, you made that monthly high, and you just kind of made three other lower monthly highs, but 99.24. I don't know. Right now, clearing 92.56, right? That was the high of the month. So let's look. Maybe next target 95.30, then 97.36. But maybe triple digits here for RCL. How long have they been? When did they stop the cruises? Was it in April of last year or March?
Probably March.
Yeah. Wow. Man, they raised the money and stayed afloat.
The reopening trades for real.
Still is.
And we had a dip here a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. These were the buying opportunities for all these stocks. We talked about it on the show. I wish I would have bought more of them. I bought Las Vegas Sands, but I wish I would have bought a whole bunch of them. The reopening trade is for real. It's coming. I think I'm buying dips on these stocks too. Cruise lines, airlines, casinos, all the stocks we hated back in 2020 on dips, I think they're buys.
For whatever it's worth, Fubo is almost at $25 here. It's, well, not almost. Well, yeah, it's at 24 and change. So Fubo, watch out. We're heading back up in that. We didn't even talk about Snowflake.
Full disclosure, I'm long Fubo. I bought it 2 days ago just because I thought eventually this one might go. I was hugging the 20. You can see what I was looking at. I was like, I'm leaning on 20. So I sold half of it yesterday into the pop. I still have half.
25 big in that one. What we get to yesterday.
That's why I think it could go.
Yep, 24.69, but that's big. That's big. The high right here at 25. This one's a little bit higher. So above that, if you're looking more, if it takes out 25, you're getting not much in the 20. Wow, not much at all in there once you clear 25. We'll see what happens today.
New tool, and I can start sharing this information if daily if you all will like it, and I remember to. But we have a new tool that tracks searches in not individual searches, but searches overall in Benzinga Pro. So the most searched tickers today, if you care, are AMC, GameStop, and Nvidia. Which should maybe tells you something, or maybe tells
Nvidia is the stock of the day because of the earnings, and then you have AMC and GameStop are just there.
Yep.
The volume on AMC is just incredible. It's already traded 8.5 million shares here today. Like, this is just absolutely incredible. So, I mean, even if you don't, you want to just ignore this stuff, it's hard to ignore it because it's all through my Twitter. It's all through, and it's right at the top of the leaderboard with volumes. So you can't even ignore it. I mean, you used to think like penny stocks, oh yeah, you can just ignore those. But I mean, this is like right front and center. It's hard to ignore these things. So, I mean, and you've got to respect it. You've got to respect it.
Yeah. We didn't even talk Snowflake. They had earnings. They're down. They're growth, but I guess they're not the right kind of growth.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'd buy the dip on Snowflake.
Someone already did.
No, actually. Oh, whoa. I didn't even see that.
I didn't know it went that low. I would have been buying down there too. I got sidetracked too much. 216. Wow.
I didn't see it was at 230. I thought it was at like 220 something.
Yeah, it's starting
Look
to
at
come
that. They
back
bought
here.
that right away.
This is what you got to do: is take those opportunities, those earnings. It doesn't even matter the earnings reports most of the time. Just sentiment towards the sector drives price more than anything. And right now, sentiment towards growth has turned, so they're looking at dips to buy. Okta is another one. It's down $16 here today. So do you look at that 220 area? I don't know if it's going to get to 220, but I tell you, there's a hell of a lot of support there. So would I take a shot in the 220s? Yep.
Let's take a look at Okta.
Yeah,
I take a shot. Remember, there's always going to be an outlier, and there'll be something that might continue down on you and go the other way. But more often than not, the dips right now in growth are being bought. So it looks like Snowflake has worked so far today. Okta has continued to leak here post session here. I see a lot of support down there at 220. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, 220, and you got to 248, so that's a little bit below. Basically, 30-point move, 15, this 233 area right there, getting half of it back here. If it does anything like, what was the one we just looked at before that had, Snowflake. So, yep. People feel that they missed the original buying opportunity here. They're getting their second chance, and
that's how I do it. If you're late to the party, I can, that's how I rebuilt my portfolio when I sold everything back in, March. And then we went to April, May, we started going up. And then I was using every dip on every single stock on earnings to reload, because I was like, we got to be reloading on dips here because I got to get my portfolio back. So, I mean, if you've made, a call and you've got to a lot of cash, I've been doing that in the last few weeks. I was sitting at 40% cash a month ago. I've been reloading my portfolio on dips, buying stuff like, Fubo, which, is there, is this going to be a long-term position in my portfolio? Probably not, but I'm trying to get exposure to names that are starting to turn around. And I have an out. Like the Fubo was just a nice setup at 20 because there was so many lows there. So all of a sudden I was like, okay, I got defined risk. I love defined risk. I love knowing where my out is. And I've got, a lot of money flying into growthy and to these storied stocks again. So the time to strike on Fubo was any time in the last week and a half. Now it's at 24.30. So now it's like, okay, well, now it's late. You're chasing it. You're buying it now.
Now the trend is my friend, Dennis.
But stocks are around 15% in a day. I tell you, I've lost a lot of money trying to chase a stock up that's around 15, 20% a day.
Spoo's fine. They've caught the bid here.
Yeah,
we're ripping. We're ripping here. We're up 5. So the shake and bake got above the close, moving up.
Moving on up.
Yep.
04.25 yesterday's high. Its next target on the upside, 12.75. What's Tuesday's high?
Q's are lagging. Everyone else is up, though. All right, let's bring on Peter Tuckman, the Einstein of Wall Street. Dennis,
I have to go.
Going to say goodbye to you, and I'm going to bring on Peter.
I'll do a few more tickers in the chat. Up to the open. All right.
Peter Tuckman is with the Wall Street Global Trading Academy. Joins us every Thursday from the floor of the NYSE. Peter, good morning. How are we doing today?
Morning, Spencer. I'm doing great. It's good.
What is the feeling out there on the floor today?
You know what? A couple of things. We're starting to see some really nice road shows. We had a direct listing yesterday, and this morning we've got FIGs going public. So we're starting to see humans show up again. We got a big party outside to really announce the new listing. So we're starting to see a little more. We've got press coming back on the floor. We see the market sort of, I'm enjoying the adrenaline. I'm enjoying the sort of human element that's coming back into our world here. Obviously people have been trading throughout the last year and changed from their own remote little spot. But as this place becomes, for me, this place is really bound by its human interaction. And the more we see that, the more with the reopening down here on Wall Street at the stock exchange, the more exciting it is in my
I guess in terms of like market though, like price action, what is the feeling out there?
Let's talk about the price action. I think we're churning, and we're trying to really, the market's trying to figure out what's going on. There's a lot of economic news coming out, right? And we've seen, the high of a few weeks ago. We saw that sort of reversal, whether it was catalyzed by just tech being a little bit frothy and long in the tooth a little bit. Everyone started talking inflation, and it was like we're going to, we had 2 or 3 days of a sell-off. And as I often said, and I said it to you last week, 1 or 2 days does not make a market. Now, once again, we're seeing the market take a little bit more of a positive thing, but it's kind of churning. The market's trying to figure out what to do with all this information. We've got the 7-year auction. We've got the inflation. We've got GDP numbers coming out. We've got the unemployment. As people sort of focus on that too, I think last month's numbers were disappointing. We're looking to see whether the recovery will continue on an upbeat or a downbeat relative to how many people are actually looking for work, what the employment numbers are going forward, right? So once earnings season is over, today we have a big MSCI rebalance. That is one of the Super Bowl days of the year here on the floor. It's got a lot of international exposure. It's one of those, we've got the S&P rebalance quarterly. They tend to be big battle days for us here as traders on the floor. The MSCI tends to be a fascinating day because it encompasses, every stock here on the floor, all the S&P, and a lot of international exposure. So
wait, tell us more about the MSCI. Is that the momentum one? Is that what you're talking about? Or
international index. So
okay.
there's just, the list that I just got this morning, it's huge. And it's, we're also getting news that there's one of the BlackRock ETFs is going to be doing a $6.16 billion rebalance within its portfolio relative to the MSCI. So as these rebalances come, historically, they've had a huge impact on the markets. It's a matter of the indexers needing to rebalance their positions relative to where stocks have come in the last year or quarter or half. So the MSCI, it's a 1-year event, and it can be significant. But look, we've seen the last couple of days have been sort of very slow. I was watching TV last night, and the Dow was up 10 points, right? The S&P was up 8 handles. I mean, those are minor moves relative to what we've seen over the last bunch of months. So I kind of think the market's sort of churning and trying to figure out its directionality.
All right, we've had about an hour now to digest that headline from the New York Times that Biden is going to propose a very, very large budget, more spending. You've got the Fed on the one hand, you've got the Treasury on the other hand. Your reaction to that and how that could shift the market going forward?
So you know what? Look, the news and headlines, for some reason, over the last few weeks, news and headlines, the economy versus the markets have been trading in this bifurcation now for a year, right? Mm-hmm. Who would have thought that where we are economically and globally, we would be where the market is today, right? Trading right on record highs. So is that information going to really impact the market? For some reason, it doesn't seem that way. I always say, and people are to jibe me about it, market's doing what it wants to do. The market tends to show you what it thinks about all these things. This morning, earlier on, we were looking at a bit of a market was indicated down 100, 150. Now the spiders are up 5 handles. Market seems to be firming up. As Dennis had said earlier, I think we are once again in that certain little pocket where dips are buying opportunities and not sort of red flags for people to start bailing. These moves, it's you talk and I talked about it last week. It's like, where are stocks trading relative to where they've been? Right? Let's look at where the market is relative to where it's been. And so I kind of just think we're in a, it's sort of whether it's a consolidation or the market's kind of churning, people are trying to decide where to put their energy and focus. Obviously, 400 million shares plus traded in GameStop yesterday. We couldn't even get a buy versus sell figure on the day because that was so, disjointed due to that energy. They kind of, it's funny, the Wall Street Bets Reddit guys picked sort of a day where there wasn't a lot else going on to sort of put their gas and their foot on the gas relative to the meme stocks yesterday. I think the market's just trying to figure out what it wants to do.
All right. Are there any specific? I know you always watch the index. The indexes, the Dow versus the S&P, but are there any specific names you're watching or industries that you have your eye on? Our first guest today said he's watching specialty retail. Anything specific you're seeing out there that sort of piques your interest?
Well, I like that story. I think it's really interesting to sort of analyze how this recovery is going and who are the first ones who are going to benefit from it. We have seen a little bit of sort of a retracement in a lot of the shelter-in-place stocks, right? Some of the Zooms and whatnot like that. I like the specialty retail space right now. I think people are going to start to come out of their little hovel where they've been for a while, and start going back into the mall, start going into the shops. So we saw retail numbers that, look, Dennis also talked about it earlier too. We've talked about it. We talk about it with David Green a lot, is that the earnings and the price, for me, price action after earnings are the deciding factors in when stocks are worth buying and or selling. I know Dennis also talked about yesterday that 94, I love that little shtick you did the other day about that 94% of day traders actually end up losing. I think that was your number, 91. And I think it's really important to note as markets stop moving 1, 3, 4, 8% a day, which has sort of been the mode we've seen over the last bunch of months, and they sort of sit here and churn small bits either way, it's so much more important for people to use technical analysis in their judgment. I'm not talking long-term investing. Long-term investing, it feels the market's strong. I don't feel any bubbles here or anything, but I think from a technical analysis point of view and a market that's sort of treading water, if you want to describe it that way, all the more reason if you're a day trader to use technical analysis at these points.
Yeah.
Because movement, the market action really proves stocks out as opposed to trying to make a decision. We don't know how this recovery is going to go. We don't know how the reopening story is going to go.
What is your take on what feels like a bit of a resurgence, if you can call it that, last couple of days, last week or so of the meme stocks? It seems like activity on FinTwit, on social media, on Reddit has picked up. You know, we reached that we had a fever pitch there in January, February around the GameStop short squeeze. Things got a little bit quieter relative to where they had been. Seems like maybe now we're picking up again. A lot of these stocks that they're getting punished are back in favor, at least for the moment. I guess what is that all noise to you? I know it doesn't impact the overall market. These GameStop is way too small to do that. But what is your take on all of that? On all the hype on social media as it pertains to what you do every day? Do you ignore it? Do you pay attention to it as an indicator or what?
I don't think it's an indicator at all. I find it a fascinating phenomenon. I watched it and I analyze it specifically just to see how the public is responding to it. And, as somebody who's working, trying to get people to learn about technical analysis, I think what we saw happen was we heard about the Reddit and the Dogecoin millionaires who did really well and were able to support risk of millions and millions of dollars on an up and day basis. And we really didn't hear about the guys whose accounts got blown up. Right. I saw on one of the Instagram posts yesterday how fascinating it was that I think it was the Wall Street Bets guys who posted a thing that thank God they got back that the internet is lit on fire about GameStop again, because I've been holding the bag for 4 months trying to get back to even. Right. So that was so telling to see that, look, there are a lot of guys out there who got caught holding the bag, right? There are people out there who risked a lot of their stimulus checks, their grandmother's pension funds and whatnot, getting into these stocks and holding the bag because that they felt this mob mentality. They're new in the market. They don't have the fundamentals of the education to really be traders. And they got caught holding the bag. Mm-hmm. So I kind of think that sort of thing got quiet. I think there was a lot of SEC focus and whatnot. People may have gotten scared away. And I think many accounts got blown up, right? Those stocks decimated a lot of people. People were sitting there who do not have any background in trading, and they bought things high and they sold them low, right? And they're sort of licking their wounds. As I've been lately describing, they're sitting out on the corner, smoking a Marlboro, drinking some Hennessy, literally licking their wounds. And so I think, look, the internet's a funny thing, guys.
Oh, man.
That sort of refire that they lit up yesterday, I think it was sort of just testing the waters to see if their crowd is still behind them, right? Are the people still dancing in the streets when they light a fire under the internet? And it was clear that they were. There have been people sitting around. These people who are playing in that space do not know what you and I know, do not know what normal day traders are doing. They're new in the space, they're uneducated in it, and there are people who have gotten pretty much hurt in it. So they kind of just sort of lit a fire to see, are these guys still in my court? And they are. 400 million shares of AMC traded. GameStop took a nice pop, but it's basically getting back to even of where it's been for the last couple of months. I don't find this whole space to be an indicator at all. I find it to be a super dangerous thing that's going on. I'm happy for those who made money. Everyone who's doing that trade, I hope you get in and you get out and you ring the cash register. As you know, with Wall Street Global Trading Academy, we try and teach that never turn a winning trade into a losing trade. You guys talked about it yesterday. It was a big part of the show that most people who day trade lose money. That's a matter of bad habits and people having an opinion and using hope and the mob mentality as a trading strategy. As you guys know, and I think Benzinga's great about this, is that, you do touch into that space about how social media has influenced a lot of traders. And I love the fact that it's brought millions of people into this space and given them sort of something to focus on and get excited about. But the bottom line is it's a dangerous way to trade. It's a bad habit to get into. If people want to learn about technical analysis from you guys, from us at Wall Street Global Trading, then go on and good luck and enjoy those days where these stocks get fire under their tush, right? But know that you should never get in as using hope as a strategy or mob mentality. And if you're able to ring the cash register up 5-10% in a trade, get out, ring it, get your money back, play with the bank's money. There will be more opportunities.
Yeah, I think it was J.P. Morgan that said I got rich by selling too early, and I think that's never a bad thing. The link to Peter's site that he talked about is up on the screen. It's also in the description of this video. Wall Street Global Trading Academy.com. Peter, always a pleasure. Get back down there on the floor and start trading.
We're gonna do the FIGS IPO. Good morning. Good to see you.
All right. All righty. It is 9:15 now, guys. The market S&Ps are kind of, I don't want to say blasting off, but the SPY, the IWM, and the Dow all up significantly this morning. The Qs are playing behind a little bit, but that's all right. We'll see if that changes at the open. We did have a headline while Peter was on there with me. GM is going to reopen 5 of their plants that they closed due to the chip shortage. So if you're trading GM, it is almost at $60 here this morning. Closed the day at 58 yesterday, so up almost $2 here in the pre-market session on GM. We already talked about Ford. You know, that's been moving for the last couple of days, couple of weeks. So Ford's still moving there as well. We're gonna hang out on the stream. I'm gonna bring Mitch Hotch on in a couple of minutes, and we're just gonna do some hangout, Mitch and I, at the open. I do want to say that I read that offer every day. The Benzinga Pro offer, YouTube 20. We got a special offer going right now, and I'm gonna put the link here in chat. And this is a very short-term offer, and I just dropped the link in there. It'll take you straight to the offer page for Benzinga Pro. Again, pro.benzinga.com. And the offer in question is get your first month of Benzinga Pro for $9.97. So I just put the link in chat. It's in the Benzinga.com chat. It's in the Benzinga. It's in the YouTube chat. It's in the Twitch chat. It's in the Twitter chat. Or you can just go to pro.benzinga.com and use the code 30 days, like 30 DAYS. But the link I just posted will bring you straight to that page. Again, get your first month of Benzinga Pro for under $10. Special offer happening right now. Check that out. Also, please, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. If you subscribe to our channel and then enter our giveaway contest, you could win a free share, not a free car, but a free share of Tesla. Again, we're giving away a free share of Tesla when we reach that 100,000 subscriber mark. If by the time the contest ends, which I think is going to end next week, I'm not quite sure. If by that time we also get to 105,000 subscribers, we're going to give away a free Shinola watch. All right, it is 9:18. I got people walking behind me here. What's going on here? I have no idea. Let's bring on my good friend Mitch Hotch, who I have not seen in a week, actually, because I was out and Mitch is out. Mitch is, I think he's supposed to be out today. I'm not quite sure what his deal is. Mitch, I thought you were out today. What's going on? Mic's off.
Hey, well, no fears, right? I mean, it's hard to stay away. How you
doing? I haven't talked to you in like a week.
I know, man. It's kind of weird, man, because we speak to each other almost every single day, even sometimes on the weekends. So It's good to be back. It's good to be back with the Zinger Nation. So definitely, if you like me back, hit the subscribe, hit the like.
Yeah,
let me know
like.
what's going on out there, guys. I don't know about you, but it's been seeming like the market's been fun without me, so I had to come back, man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're only at 400 and some odd likes. Let's get to let's see if we can get to 500. Mitch, what have you been watching? You've been in chat the last couple of days. You've been dropping tickers in there, but what have you been watching?
Hey, well, honestly, I've been watching a lot of different areas. Remember last week, we kind of had that day where everyone just said it's shopping time, right? And so I got into a lot of different areas. I mean, it's been paying off, at least overall account. I was like a little bit heavier than 50% cash, and I put it all back in. And from that amount that I put back in, I'm up about 4 to 5% just from last week. So I'm looking at them. They're holding well. Some of the ones that I did add on to, I'm going to be looking to see if they do great today, like RSI and others like that. DM, I'm sticking a little tight. It's more of a SPAC that, de-SPAC that we're trying to see if it's moving. But there's some great names out there. I've been in Zynga. I've been in XPEV. That one I'm up almost over 10% already. XPEV looking really great. Overall, I mean, if you look at some of the EVs, they really started bouncing back hard. You talked about how Ford did really great. And so I think that's helping it actually. And NIO is one that I'm watching to see if it really starts pushing today through 40. There's some big boys there. XPEV, LI, they're really starting to look strong. Look at that LI candle.
Yeah, they're all moving. And wait, on the XPEV note, real fast, hot tip. I was told that we're gonna get the CEO of XPeng on the show. I don't know when.
What?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I don't know when. I'll tell you when I know, but I don't know. I was just told by our expert booker that he's gonna get us XPeng. So all right, that we got that coming up. When I know, you'll know. But I'll find out. Hopefully in June. Hopefully in June.
Did you catch the lodging moves, man? The lodging. That was one that
who?
I was like Hilton. On Monday, I was banging these names, man. Look at that trend we're getting in. That's called reopening, baby.
Ooh.
That's called reopening.
Yeah. What about like Hyatt? Are all of them?
Yeah, man, all of them. Look, Hyatt, MAR. This is another one just started to trend right back up to the resistance. And it was good because on Monday, everyone was kind of starting to look at these reopening plays and they were right off support. And the same thing kind of happened in the cruise lines. They were right off support on kind of this Monday time. And then they just started pushing. They just started pushing towards resistance and they're starting to break out. CCL is definitely my favorite out of the three. RCL, you can look at NCLH. The reason I like RCL is just because I've seen the Google trend data kind of push more into them. But today, consumer cyclical is the story, right? You were talking about some retail this morning, right, Spencer? So I think that's the one we got to watch. Right now, I'm seeing luxury good, textiles, manufacturing, apparel stores, auto manufacturing.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, Beyond Meat fits that as well. Actually, no, Beyond Meat, I guess, is more of a staple. But anyway, Beyond Meat is ripping here again. It's up to 100,
let's take a look.
Almost 135 this morning. This thing was, how low was this? This thing was under $100. Like a week and 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, it was under 100. We're at 135 almost this morning. So
yeah, this is
fun. And this got pumped on Kramer last night. It's getting love on Reddit, on Twitter. They're always announcing new deals or products. They had a PR this morning. They announced a new product or something like that. But yeah, like some sort of 6-pack, whatever. That's not the point.
They're turning me. They're turning me on this story. I agree with you, Spencer. It's just about everywhere. I mean, you go to any restaurant and you look down on the menu, they'll probably have an offering of, oh, you could swap out that meat for Beyond Meat. So
yeah, maybe. What else are we seeing?
PTCF. See if that one moves with Beyond Meat. Look at that.
Yeah,
Same
we were
thing.
talking about that. Chris and I were talking about that yesterday. Yeah, that's also moving as well. That I don't know what sector those technically fall into, but they
go into packaged food in the consumer defensive sector.
Right, technically defensive, but they're also like speculative growth. So, All right, let me catch up. What else was I seeing this morning?
All right, let's catch up with the chat. Let's see what
Yeah,
we got there.
let's catch up with the
What
chat.
are the highest gappers? What are the highest movers? Maybe get our movings
Biggest
list.
movers today. Let me bring it up for you. You can see this is my Benzinga Pro.
Boom, boom.
This is my movers on the left, the news feed on the right, up movers on the top, down movers at the bottom. This is just for the pre-market. So this is just measuring stuff from the 4 p.m. yesterday till right now.
Oh, BTBT.
And I do have some filters on to filter out the lower price stuff.
Okay.
So biggest loser is Plan, which we mentioned briefly, I think, on this show this morning. They had earnings, and their CFO is also stepping down. So their earnings missed, losing the CFO. So that's my biggest loser as far as gapping down. As far as stocks gapping up, MOXC is a big winner this morning. LNTH, these aren't names I'm familiar with. Looks like they had some drug news. Resolute RZLT is up big this morning. Yeah, you mentioned BTBT. Actually, let's look at all those crypto names.
It's going to be on my radar for sure, guys. I'll let you guys know as that one opens up, and we'll see how they move. But I think if you're looking at BTBT, you're looking at
what the hell is going on? Whoa, you see that chart this morning? Pull up the BTBT chart.
Yeah, that's what I just had up. I got you. I was getting it ready for us.
What is that?
It's a nice 4 a.m. spike, man. Those 4 a.m. spikes, they happen often. A lot of traders coming in at 4 a.m. and they buy immediately as they open, or at least as they get a chance.
I was like a 5.
And you can see here, someone put in 1,000 shares there, and then right here they put in 5,000 shares, and then it actually came up, and looks like someone either was stepping up and selling some here, and there was 18,000 shares. So like right after like that 4 a.m., they just hit it, bam, bam, bam. It actually caused the spike to come all the way up here to that 1250. So I like this pullback now, to tell you the truth. But what I'm going to look for is this is about a 17% pullback. Let's look for more of a closer to 23, 24, 25% pullback. So I'm going to look for a hard down move towards 950s in BTBT, and then a quick scoop right back up. 10 will be the important price point. When we break below 10 and we get back above 10, I want to see that hold that $10, because that will show that the bulls are taking back control, and we can maybe even get up here towards $12 again. So that's what I'm going to be watching.
It wasn't just BTBT. You look at SOS, also had the same exact chart.
Mara, same thing.
Well, not the same chart, but Mara's up right here. You know what? I'll bring up this is my watch list that I use to track quote unquote crypto stocks or Bitcoin stocks, whatever you want to call them. And you can see a lot of green today, right? They're all up. These things were all lagging, and I would say you got to have these on your radar today, right? Overstock has been moving, but some of these have not, right? Some of these have been lagging hard. So I'd watch this. I mean, BTBT's been in a downtrend pretty much since like the start of the year. It feels like.
But like that smash button. I like it.
They're moving this morning, so I'd be watching these, all of them, right? Voyager, Marathon Digital, MicroStrategy. Watch all of them. They're all moving here. CAN. I haven't looked at CAN for a while. That one's up the last couple of days. I would have all these on my radar. Let me go back to my movers tool.
Solar's been starting to move up. I don't know if you've noticed that move recently, Spencer. I did get into Max N yesterday. I just put out a position there just because I saw multiple lows, saw the sector start coming back. Going to take a look to see if that can start moving today. Got in really close to 16, so I'm right there underneath it in the 1590s. We'll see if it starts moving on up today. One that is a leader right now in this sector was Run, and SOL had a really good day yesterday. So Run is one that I'd keep an eye on to watch it continue to move. And then SOL, a nice move up yesterday. Almost a 20% move up. So that's definitely one to keep on watch.
Someone's saying something about CAN bankruptcy. Oh, Eden saying soon. All right, I don't know. That's not real.
All right, guys, 2 minutes before the bell.
Oh wow, time flies when you're having fun. Are we at 500 likes yet? We are.
Yeah, if not, man, we might have to get out of here, Spencer. If we don't get to 500 likes, I don't know what I'm doing here, man.
488.
I can make some money right now. I'm thinking about adding to the account. Dun dun dun.
Well, like I said, like an hour ago, part of me wants to just say, like,
It's time to add, man. It's
Look,
you either hold the bags or
well, look, part of me wants to like just close my eyes and like put my head in the sand, and I'm just like, I'll buy more like VOO and like forget about it. But also, I really want, I really kind of want to like buy some Fubo here. I'm not gonna lie. Dennis said he's buying Fubo. I am on Fubo like a freaking hawk right now.
some Fubo action.
I kind of want.
I see you grab my side pocket, man. The VZIO. Watch that today at the
you've been like pumping that, but it's not really moving. Fubo's moving. I love Fubo.
They used to call me the Fubo guru. Now they'll call me the Vizio Dream.
That was last year, man.
The Vizio Dream. Now that's what I'll call it out. Either I'll be the Vizio Dreamer or the Vizio Dream.
Maybe. All right,
we'll see. It's a good day today. It's a good day today to watch to see if it can continue moving on up. Honestly, for both of those, it's all about Roku. It's all about Roku.
Why do you say that?
Because to me, like, you know how sometimes I like to look at the leader.
Oh, there's our bell. Fundamentally, maybe, but like as far as short-term price action, who knows?
That leader.
We opened at 420 in the spot.
And we did pen to continue. That's another one I'm going to be keeping a watch on. It did reverse there at 80, starting to push up. We'll keep an eye on some gambling sector today.
All right, we opened at 420 in SPY. We opened at 333 in the Qs. We are going to be watching those numbers closely today. We're still going. We are still going higher here. So it was a great pre-market session. We are back basically to the high of the overnight session from what was that? Tuesday night? Oh, it was Tuesday night. We're right back there in the SPY.
All right, right off the back, I see basic materials and financial services leading us. Right off the top, this is what I like to see. I like to compare the change since the open. And so since the open, we've gone up on basic materials and financial services. So that's something to keep your eyes on today. One in basic materials that I like, I'm starting to look at for lithium plays to get strong. So MP, PLL, if you want a ETF, you can look at lit. Got to include an ETF when my man Spencer's here.
Appreciate that. You know what I'm gonna do? What I always switch over to at the open in Benzinga Pro. So here,
man, knock it out. Show us what's up.
This is my pre-market setup I have in Pro. I got my movers on the left, nooses on the right. After the open, I switch over to this other tab. If you have Benzinga Pro, you should have access to this. Is a beta tool. So it's not, it's not finished. It's in development, but it's in beta. I think some people should have access to this. If you are on Pro and you want access to this tool, you don't have it yet. Message the support team, and we can get you access. This is a scanner tool we've got going, and it's tracking movers. I basically track two things. I track movers from the open, like you do, and I track movers from yesterday's close, and I've got my stuff that's up on the top and stuff that's down on the bottom, and so that's what this tool is. It's basically just a scanner tool. If you've ever seen a scanner, you've seen this, but this is just for during the 9:30 to 4 o'clock is when I use this tool. So let's see what's moving here. We've got and again, I do have some price filters on. I do filter out some lower price stocks, so I don't get penny stocks that are moving 100% because I don't care. But I'm seeing like LIZI, right? Let me pull up a chart. LIZI.
Oil up a significant amount today. Keep your eyes on those names.
LIZI, do they have news? No, I don't think so.
Copper.
I'm looking for LIZI. LIZI has been one of the most searched tickers on our platform in the last 24 hours. Okay. Good to know. Ride. Look at Ride. Oh man. Cute. It's still going. Look at Ride now. It's going to 10. Ride's going to 10.
Ooh, I tried to get in FCX right now, but no fill. Look for a little bit down.
Ride. I'm saying Ride's going to 10. What about Beyond Meat?
Get it below it.
Oh my God! Look at Beyond Meat. Holy cow! Look at that blast off at the open. It's at
Some
140.
support there for sure.
140. Oh my god. This thing was under $100 2 weeks ago. It's at 140 now. Oh man. Ridiculous. This thing was, I mean, it was so out of favor for so long. Look at this. This is a 1 year chart. And no, let's go to a 2 year chart. This is a 2 year chart. All right. This thing was, it did nothing for so long. I mean, it moves. Don't get me wrong, but like, there are people that bought this thing at 240. Somebody somewhere bought this thing at 230, 240. Anyway, it's up. This is a let's go to a 2-day chart on Beyond Meat. Near the top of my up filters this morning. What else am I seeing? Again, this is a Benzinga Pro. If you want a free 2-week trial, go to pro.benzinga.com. You can click on the code I put in chat to get the first month for just under $10. You enter the code. Wait, what was the code? The code was 30,
wait. What was the code?
30 days. 30 DAYS. 30 days is your promo code. You can get access to these tools and a lot more. What else am I seeing out there?
Yeah, I'll put this in the overlays and you can use it from time to time. Boom. Look at that.
Look at that.
Start it now, guys.
Nutanix moving on some volume today. It's a 5G play.
All right, let's see what we're finding in that industry that was looking strong today. Consumer cyclicals is only up about a 0.07%. Basic materials almost went up a 0.7%. And so right behind it, industrials. The one that's on the downside right now is actually technology. So technology is doing a quick pullback, could be kind of setting up for red to green moves. So you could look at some of the bigger names to see if they do some red to green moves. So MU is actually pushing up. That's a good sign that you could see a kind of red to green move. AMD, see if AMD kind of recovers 78.25 today, and then maybe that could show you technology coming back. All right, now one area that's interesting that is pushing up is banks right now. So we might have to take a look at some banks today. BAC, look, that's a decent move. GS, Goldman Sachs with a decent push up. Let's look at Wells Fargo. WFC there. Nice push, and then holding the VWAP right now. So let's see if we can get one more hold of VWAP.
You know what's been quiet so far relative? The meme stocks, GameStop, AMC, KOSS, quiet here this morning. So far, I mean, we're 5 minutes into the session, but
retail coming back down a little bit. EXPR had a monster day. That was one of those meme stocks, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I missed this one. I was keeping an eye on. That's why you see this kind of trend line.
I saw you mention that the other day.
I was keeping an eye on this one. I just couldn't keep it. I wasn't watching the last 3 days, and look what it decided to do.
I know.
53% move there. Those are the ones that you miss, and you're just like, all right, just let it go. Nike and UA pulling back significantly. I want to see if Nike leads the industry today.
Pulling back? What do you mean? They're Nike's up today.
Yeah, UA is pulling back to the support there. I think if Nike leads, eventually UA could turn around. That's why I was watching UA.
I pulled up BlackBerry just now because this thing was at 1042 in the pre-market. It's down to 937 right now. So you've lost $1 this morning on BlackBerry. Where's my that's a 5-day chart. And then I also wanted to look at what's the other one I just wanted to look at? Damn it. I wanted to look at was it Fubo? I don't even remember. That's not it. Fubo. Oh, okay. Sell the rip, buy the dip. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know in these things. Williams-Sonoma had earnings. That's why it's down.
I'm going to take a short risk here, really small risk here on FCX. This is a little bit of a paper trade, guys, just to see if I can get copper to come back up here. So that's FCX, seeing copper as one of my strongest materials up today on the day. A nice turnaround. The RSI has been pulling back on the overall industry. So let's see if this one can come back up here. Looking for it to get back above VWAP 42.75 and then get into the 43.
I'm catching up on chat here. If you have any tickers you want us to look at, drop it in there. We will take a look. I'm scrolling up and see if we missed anything. Camping World, CWH. That's not the right one. That's
What do you guys got moving out there? What do you guys want us to take a look at? I'll take an assessment approach here. I'm
Camping
seeing
World, CWH.
IPOE, Camping World.
My chart's just conked out on me, so got to refresh. There we go. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, CWH. Nice move today. Wow. Was there a headline? Let's check the press release feed. No. Is there a filing out? No. All right. No news.
No news.
But
On the copper front, what about
it's that reopening play. It's that reopening play.
All right. So we're getting some names here. So let's try to roll through some of these. First chart, we're going to take a look at UWMC. This one's been bouncing back. I actually talked about this one on Money Mitch. I was thinking this one could come back here. Nice pull back to VWAP there. Nice push up, but not the biggest move, guys. You're only getting almost a 2% push up, and then that kind of 1% pullback here. It's right at VWAP there, UWMC. This one has been moving good on the daily chart, though. And I did kind of think about that this one could come back roaring a little bit, but I never expected this drop at 6. So it was a kind of hard thing to hold through. And now it's kind of doing that undercut and rally kind of move. So keep your eyes on that one for sure. Let's go to the next one up here. Seeing IPOE mentioned. I know that one's been moving as of recently. Let's see if this one gets back above 20. You see how it went up to this 80s, but then pulled back here. And now you have multiple lows near that 925 area. If it doesn't hold that above 20 today, I think you'll test that 925 again, and then you could crack that. But if it gets above 20, it could look strong as it's pushing up there towards that resistance again.
Anyone looking for your ridiculous stock of the day? It's GOED.
GOED.
Yeah, this thing it's been halted. How many times has it been halted today?
Oh, 2.
A few times. And you can also find that in Pro, but I'm not going to right now. It opened. Well, what it closed at yesterday?
It's a little bit ridiculous.
$4 to over to how high? 2021 this morning. So ridiculousnh.
That one looks interesting.
Just silly town. I have no idea what this is, but if these kind of high flyers are your game, then this is your high flyer of the day. And I mentioned the halts. You can search for halts in Benzinga Pro as well. I'm going to do that right now. And this is I just have a widget. This is the signals widget, and you can see it up there, signals, and I have it filtered for just halts. And so GOED, you can see halted twice today. And there we go. Okay, back to my scanners tool, or back to the chat. Let's go back to the chat. Let's see what we missed there. Scroll away. That
aluminum having a good day. Maybe U.S. Steel. Let's take a look at U.S. Steel. There you go. Nice push up there for U.S. Steel. Let's see if we can get a pullback here closer towards 25.75.
Nice
push there, U.S. Steel.
Someone said Vista Outdoor as well. That's the
yeah, I saw that one. That one's making a good move there too. The daily chart on that one pretty significantly pushing up there. That's VSTO. What other ones are we getting in the chat? Ding, 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 ding. You got it. Got it.
All right. I got somebody calling my phone right now, so.
No worries. Let them know. What's up? What's going on? Put them on the stream.
No, that would be mean.
PLTR and coin. Sounds like a whole bunch of bag buyers in our chat here.
How is Palantir? I haven't.
It's struggling, dude. I tried to look at maybe CCIV today to see if maybe that one could get going, but those are the ones that you get stuck in. And man, sometimes it's better to sell and look for a stock that's moving. I think that's also a lot of things that you can get stuck on. But I have a feeling we're going to get a little bit of a pullback day. But it's interesting. We finally hit the 420. Can we hold it on the SPY, guys? Can we hold 420 today? That was my interesting spot to look at. I knew we were going to test up there, but the question is, can it hold 420 now? QQQs, I'm looking for them to make a move up towards 350, man. I think this could keep going up towards 350. we've had a good kind of daily push. Do we get a little pullback today, or do we get another push up? All right, let's see what's moving now.
I'm here with you, Mitch. I'm here.
No, you're good, man. No worries. Going through the banks here. BAC not having a bad day. Look at that move on the 15-minute. It's a pretty good move there in the banks to begin with the day.
Let's go back to the chat here. Palantir was mentioned. Coins. Some people mentioning Coinbase. Yeah, crypto stocks are moving. Or down. Actually, Coinbase.
Yeah, we're having a pullback in gambling right now, but if they can hold the 5-minute lows.
Pulling back in Coinbase. Yeah, pull back in Mara. Pulling back in Riot. Pulling back in BT. Yeah. Well, I'm BT.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's about to be in the red. At this rate, it'll be in the red in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. What a turn that was. RKT, Super SPAC Man asked about RKT. I wanted to bring this up on PreMarket Prep. I kind of forgot about it because it was a Reddit stock for like a hot second, right? It had that one ridiculous day where it got to what, like 30 something? What was that? Or it got to 40, excuse me, it got to 41. And RKT, I guess, I haven't seen it mentioned in that group of Reddit stocks. I know you mentioned UWMC. I guess someone in the chat asked about that earlier, but RKT has really not been playing ball with the rest of those Reddit names. So that's interesting. I don't know. You guys know that, Jason Razek is long and strong in this thing, and he's long and strong for a long time. He's not going to sell. So it's hard to like take advice from someone who's not going to sell. Like you shouldn't like listen to what I have to say about Disney because I'm never going to sell Disney. You shouldn't listen, right? You shouldn't listen to like Jason's never going to sell. Nothing will change his mind. He's super convicted. He's bullish. So it's hard to listen to someone like that because the market's not going to change their mind. They're in it for the long haul.
Looks like you were a good idea there, thinking a little bit of consumer defensives there with bringing up Beyond Meat. Looks like at least pharmaceutical retailers are moving up, farm products, grocery store, packaged foods, food distribution. So let's take a look at also the big mover TTCF. Let's see if it can get back above VWAP. It did go down at the open. Beyond Meat did go up. So let's see if this one can hold VWAP. It did it on the first try, but we like to see it come back and hold one more time, and then we can see it try to push up towards this 140.
Mitch, so Nate Millar wants to know what your price target was in RSI. I don't know if you have a price target.
Oh, RSI. So really it's all about trying to get this move to come back above 13. Even today, if it doesn't hold 12, I'll actually get out of this stock and look for it to come back into it somewhere in between this 1137 and 12 area. But the real key is this 13 rejection that I got here. I was up looking great here when it was up about 1334. And then we've had like now 3 days of pullback, but it's also been the sign in the same sector pullback. The first reward target would be up closer towards this 16 and 17. And then the next one would be 20s. And then from there, I'd probably keep maybe 25% of the position, trying to get it back up here above 22s, closer towards 25, but I wouldn't keep much up there. The idea is not to get up to this circle. So if you see this circle, the idea is not always to get up there. A lot of times it's going to be majority of the position is going to be taken off near the first resistance. The first resistance would be kind of in this area. Second resistance would be near this 20. And so right here, even if I get it back up towards this spot, you're talking about a 30% gain. Second bubble there, you're talking about a 60% gain. I don't always look for that 93%, 100% gain because a lot of times I've seen in my data, it just doesn't come, guys. And so if it doesn't come, then why am I shooting for it? I like really, to tell you the truth, guys, my sweet spot is 20 to 30%, and I can always rinse, wash, and repeat those ideas.
Good deal.
That's what it's about. You can't be looking at always 60% gainers. I mean, those are going to come, but they're not going to come every trade. If that's what you try to make on every trade, it's nearly impossible. I can just tell you guys, I've been in this game for a little while. Yeah. I mean, it was easy last year, but that doesn't mean that it's always easy to make 60%.
Yeah, wash, rinse, repeat. Right? It's hard, it's really difficult to repeat 100% gainers. You're not going to do that every day.
Yep.
It was easy last year, like you said, but even like 50%, right? Like, I don't know what the average, what Dennis's average gain is on a trade, but if I had to guess, it's probably like 5 to 10%, if that. That might even be high. But he's doing that like 100 times a day. You know what I mean? So exactly, Narayan scalping. Exactly.
Decent look here. GE, man, the stock that you and I should definitely put in the portfolio.
GE,
Spencer.
I already played. Oh, what happened to GE? I'm already playing. I've played this game once before and I lost.
You lost right when it turned around, my friend. Look at it now. It's back almost to 15, dude.
Wait.
Didn't this get excluded out of one of the major indexes?
Yeah, it got
pulled out.
Booted out of the was it the Dow? I don't even remember anymore. Wait,
maybe it comes back, dude.
They're what is up with GE today?
Look at that. That looks strong, man.
Not Ryan. I apologize, not Ryan. I butchered your name. Thank you for correcting me.
Whoever brought that GE into the chat, good job. Richard, good look. That's a good stock to call out, definitely. All right. Oh, Figs. Is that the new IPO?
GE, just for the record on that, I bought GE years ago it was probably right around here, actually. I think it was at what was it, at 15? I think I bought it at 15 years ago and I lost. So if I'd held, I'd still be down. So forget that. I'm out. I've already played that game.
All right, so let's start looking to see if we get these classic 10 a.m. reversals here, guys. So one of the things that we see common is a stock come down for an hour, and then when it washes out all the day traders that are trying to get that 9:30 move, boom, all of a sudden a big investor takes a big shot, and then all of a sudden it starts coming back. So like right now we see that move in BTBT. I could try to take an attempt here. The key is you got to stick as close to 920 as possible, because if you let it crack that 920, you're essentially catching a falling knife. So this is when you got to be even closer with your risk. It either, like, to me, it fully goes or you just cut it. And so that's how you would approach that kind of trade right now.
All right, thanks, Matt Hammond, for jumping in the chat on Figs. So Figs is IPOing today, but what's notable about this is it's going to be available on Robinhood. I should rephrase that. It's available for Robinhood clients to get allocations pre-IPO. It's one of those like click IPO offerings where you can essentially just say, hey, I want X number of shares, and you essentially get in before they open. And Robinhood just started this. Thanks to Hammond for mentioning that. So I don't know the effects of that. We're going to find out today how it affects Figs. But it's essentially on the one hand, it's like democratizing the IPO process because you're allowing retail traders to get in before the open. But on the other hand, it's like, well, think about it like this: if you're running the book on this IPO, or you're the company itself, and you've got all these shares, why would you offer it up to the average retail investor if you didn't have either A, too much supply, or B, not enough demand, or C, a little bit of both? That's the other side of that coin. So we don't know when Figs is going to open, but it'll open at some point, probably in the next 3 hours.
It's going to be interesting. Does it start affecting the IPOs to kind of open stronger because they're given the access?
I don't know. Well,
that could happen.
The price is 22. The IPO price is 22. So that's what we're going to refer to. Don't know when it'll open. We'll find out. We don't know where it'll open. We'll find out. And the fact that it's available on Robinhood prior is certainly interesting. We'll see how that affects things. Jerome Galloway says AMC is starting to go green. Is that true? It is true. It is true. Look at that. AMC is green now. Starting to get above yesterday's close. Trying to get above yesterday's close. What about GameStop?
All right, guys. FCX still looking good there. We're still in that one, trying to see it come back and hold VWAP. We have in there just at 42.50. So let's see if this one can get back above that. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see what's moving on the day, because it's always about trying to get with the right trends, because if you can catch even the reversal trends, then that's also a good benefit. So let's go ahead and let's see the changes from the open, not the overall change here, but from the open. Basic materials almost up 0.83% there. Technology down about 0.4%. So look to see if maybe you get some reversals in those technology names, but that has been in kind of an overbought area on the RSI daily. So let's see how this continues to push. Looks like we're having a great day for basic materials. You have a bunch of them up about 3%. Coal, aluminum, and steel leading. Right behind it is copper.
Yes, Joe Dagger, I've seen Thrive Holdings, THRY is up 14, almost 15% today. They had they upsized their offering yesterday, right? That's what that we had a headline. They announced or that was actually a press release, or they priced their offering, excuse me. They priced their offering. It's from a selling shareholder, so there's no dilution there, but they priced it at 4.2 million shares. This is yesterday at 23.50. In an upsized secondary offering. So 23.50. I mean, we're at 28 now, so that number is meaningless. Maybe it provides a floor, but meaningless for now.
All right, we got a couple of people talking about Ford and GM buying XL outright. I wouldn't necessarily see that. Could they be potential targets? They could be potential targets. Like maybe they're talking, what these super SPAC men talk about Ford and GM, maybe trying to do some purchases of some smaller names to help them push forward.
Maybe.
But I think what you're going to see there is I would focus more on not a company like XL. I maybe focus on autonomous technology. That's something I could see them going after, because if someone gets that right and Ford feels they can't get that right immediately, they might be able to go after a company that they feel can get them moving into autonomous faster. All right, guys. So we went and we took a little long there on BTBT. I'm going to take an attempt here off of that bottom look there. Let's see if we get this 10 reversal. So a lot of times we get an hourly pullback. You see how the hourly chart comes all the way down to the support. So I'm taking it off that support, risking off a 917 right now, trying to see this stock come back to VWAP and get strong at 10. Remember what we talked about pre-market, red to green move. So now we're completely red on the day. Let's see if we get back into the green.
All right, Mitch and I are going to hang out for a couple more minutes, then we're both going to hop, and I have to get ready to fill in for Mitch on SPAC's attack because we got a good one today. We actually have some good interviews coming up, not just SPAC's attack today, but we have the CEO of, let me get the invite up here so I can actually read you exactly who's going to be on the show. We got Emil Michael. He's the CEO of DPCM Capital, and the company that they are buying, the CEO, Chris DeWolf of Jam City. So XPOA is your ticker. Jam City is your company being acquired, and the CEO will be on SPAC's attack at 11:15 Eastern time today. And then on Power Hour at noon, we've got the CEO of Radcom, Eyal Harari. That's a 5G play. That'll be at noon on the Power Hour. So some back-to-back executive interviews on SPAC's attack and Power Hour today. Check that out. We've also got Get Technical, the BZ Crypto Show, Biotech Buzz, the At the Close Show at 3:30, Cannabis Hour at 4 o'clock, After Hours with Ryan Rosbiani at 5. Mitch, are you doing Money Mitch tonight or no?
No, unfortunately, okay. I'll be driving to the airport.
All right, no Money Mitch, but we got Chance Trades, and we got a brand new show we're actually going to spontaneously do tonight. It's called A Late Night Building, and the entire premise of this show is basically if you are a developer, you may be of interest. This may be of interest to you, but John G, who is our ace developer, you've seen him on our crypto shows before. He's obsessed with the crypto space. Basically, the idea is of him building stuff at Benzinga, like building products and working through it. And they're going to stream himself just working through problems. And I don't know how long it's going to go for. But if you're a developer or you know a developer, it may be of interest to you because he's going to basically just, or if you want to see what goes into our products, you want to see like things that work, things that don't work, that how we fix them. John G is like our man for that. The guy does an insane amount of work. And he was going to be streaming his work essentially tonight, starting at 7. So check that out. 9:59. Smash that like button if you can. How many likes are we at today? We are at 500 and.
Hey, at least give me some likes for this FCX trade. Not a bad trade there, man. This thing's ripping. I already sold some of it, but
Good
let's
job.
see if it continues there. Copper up today. At the end of the day, remember, and you guys can go back. As soon as the open happened, what did I look at? I looked at basic materials, and I could see the change from the morning. The morning, it wasn't looking like basic material was on the radar. But as soon as the open happened, the volume started flushing towards that sector. And so that's why I went and looked at some industry in there, and I found copper moving up. So that's why I went with FCX.
Yes, good call, Joe Dagger. Nice reversal in Jumia as well. All right, Mitch, it's 10 o'clock.
Time to wrap it.
We made it through the first half hour of the day. It was good to see you. You'll be back tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah, and I'll be back a little bit later. Maybe I can help out a little bit later, but I just got to take a little quick drive to the Denver airport. But we'll be back, man, and we got to build. We got to keep building. Definitely check out that interview on SPAX Attack. I thought it was really interesting, guys. You know, a lot of gaming companies have taken their kind of revenues to new levels. Yep. And I think this is just going to continue to build as you see 5G story expand. So definitely stay tuned for that interview, guys. I think you guys are going to see something interesting there. And there's a lot of companies that are stepping up in mobile gaming.
And if the name Chris DeWolf rings a bell, or maybe doesn't, but he was one of the co-founders of MySpace. This guy's been around and built some good companies, and he's the one of the founders of Jam City, social gaming company. So he'll be on SPAX Attack in about an hour and 15 minutes, give or take. So that's a wrap. For Mitch, for me, everyone, good luck in your trading today. Hope your day is off to a good start. And drop us a like. If you haven't dropped us a like by now, you're not going to do it, which whatever. But the rest of yous, drop us a like.
Woo!
See you, Mitch.
Hell yeah.